Hey guys, and welcome to a new series of Last of Us. Don't know why I couldn't remember the name of it. This is gonna be just a rundown of what the multiplayer is and description. Mainly because I've had a few friends ask me about Last of Us, but they don't really understand like on how the multiplayer works. So this is just going to be a little bit of a rundown on how the multiplayer plays out. Now, I doubt there's going to be any gameplay this video, considering there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. Now, first things first, you have your three game modes: Supply Raid, Survivors, and Interrogation. Now, Supply Raid is kill off the entire enemy team to win, pretty self-explanatory. You've got 20 respawns, plus, you got the it's a 4 versus 4 multiplayer, so you've got the 4 of you originally, then you got 20 respawns, but that's for the entire team. Make sure you work as a team. Survivors, eliminate all enemies to win. No respawns at all. So this really is forcing you to play as a team, no exceptions. Interrogation, a little bit of the same thing. Interrogate enemy players to locate their lockbox, then unlock it to win. Now this, I believe you do have unlimited respawns on, but it's kind of capture the flag, except you have to beat the crap out of the person in order to get what you want. Even then, they still deny you what you're wanting to ask them until it actually will force their character to say it. I think that's how it works. I'm not entirely sure. I really haven't interrogated anybody on interrogation. So, don't really be asking. I may do like a few games of that just to actually show what it is. Then, of course, you got your gear up, which allows you to do your custom loadouts. Now, there are standard ones like Commander, Recon Support, Shadow, Marksman, Barrage, Salvo, Suppression, and Onslaught. I just realized that one has a machete. Then you can also use boosters if you unlock them through gameplay. Then you got your custom loadouts where you can do. I have been playing this a bit, so I do have a few things, and I have purchased a few guns because I do love crossbows, if you guys don't know that already. There's also a lot of stuff in here, like there's a few pistols. I mean, not many, but it's really just sort of, I mean, pistols are pistols. They don't do much damage in game, but they do help quite a bit. Actually, let's go to this loadout so it doesn't say everything's new. Alright, then there's a lot of large firearms, or I just call them secondaries. Or, no, primaries, never mind. But they do require some unlocking. Some they even require, like, purchase. Like, I mean, these things are just, like, scoped versions of some of these. So, but they're, like, $1 to buy, or I think it's, like, 50 pence if you're in, 50 or 70 pence if you're in United Kingdom. But each one of these guns has their own different playstyle, which is pretty cool. Then you got a whole bunch of perks that you can pick from. I mean, like, look at that. I mean, that's just insane. I won't go through all of these because there's so many. Wow. Jack of all trades, huh? Alright. But yeah, there's also different levels. If you use the perk enough, you'll get to like level 2, but if you look at the top right corner, it says loadout points. Now, the more you use the loadout, the more loadout points you get, I believe, anyway. Don't hold me to that one. As you can tell, right beside the thing, it'll tell you on what or how many points it'll take. So, as you can tell, I only have Reviver 1, First Aid Training 1, and Sharpshooter 1. I could upgrade all three of these to level 2, but I don't have enough loadout points to do so. So you really have to be picky on what you have. Now, I have nothing equipped for that one because I don't have enough to do so. Then there's also your purchasable weapon, which in-game, if you get enough scrap or parts or whatever they're called, it'll allow you to use your purchasable weapon which you got quite a few things to pick from. You got Double Barrel El Diablo, which is a 44 Magnum revolver, believe it or not, actually one-shot a person if you get a headshot. Assault Rifle, Shotgun, Military Sniper, which is overpowered. Flamethrower, Machete, Spectre, Launcher, and Crossbow, my personal favorite. But note, these things do cost 3 loadout points a piece, so be picky on that. That pretty much goes over the weapons stuff anyway. Oh, not entirely done yet. For example, as you see, like, I'm switching it over from free to 1 because some guns, actually I think almost all of them, have a level system to them. For example, 9mm pistol, you could have it as standard, or you could put a silencer on it, but it'll cost you 1 loadout point to do so. Then we go to customization. My amazing ballistics face mask. Again, there are unlockables, and you see, survive until week 4, day 3. I'll explain that a bit later. Oh, hey, kind of cool. Yeah, I'll take that. Why not? But there's a whole bunch of customizable items. Note, these will only be on your character, I think, for your first character that you play as in a game. If you die, it'll create you a randomly generated character from your clan, believe it or not, and you'll play as that person. So you'll only have what you look like for the first life, pretty much, of each game. So anyway, there's, you know, masks that you can pick from, different helmets just mainly for cosmetic. I don't know why I have this dorky ass helmet on. Put on the riot helmet, why not? I'm not sure if any of them really do help out with anything. There's different gestures just in case, you know. Total masturbation here. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, there's just a lot. There is executions, which you do have to pay for, which some of these get quite brutal. Emblem, of course. I'm not going to go after that because there's a lot. And plus, that's really just up to you and how you want your emblem to look. I mean, let's like go, or not to the mask, let's like go to these hats. I mean, like, look at how many hats there are. I mean, there is a lot. There is absolutely a lot. Now, going over for, like, the week system, as you can see at top left, it says week 3, day 7. The goal of your clan is not to die within 12 weeks. Now, in order to get progressed the next day, you have to play a battle. So I've played 21 battles, I think. 21 or 23 battles. But anyway, it's really cool how they did it, because the more you progress throughout the week, the harder it sort of gets for you, because you'll get more survivors. As you'll tell, I have 52 survivors. But if you look right there, needed per day, supplies, 47. That's the minimal amount I have to get per game. And that's a lot. Because you can, if you kill a person and pick up the supplies they had on, that adds 2 supplies to your counter in that game. By the way, ignore that little gibberish that keeps popping up. It just randomly does that. Don't know why. And so the more population you have, the more supplies they need. So you really gotta find that fine balance between what's the population that you can handle to your gameplay. Oh, got a text. Like blonde phone going off. Alright, let's see here. But I'm not entirely sure what happens after the 12 weeks. Like if I go into clan info, it says 12 weeks. Then you guys could pause the video here if you wish to read what that says. I'll proceed to the next one. Scavenger supplies, the parts you earn in game are converted into supplies. I believe it's a 100 to 1 ratio. You can also pick up, off dead players, which I just sort of explained. Thank you, game, for re-explaining something I've already done. Oop, don't go there. Now, so if it doesn't sound hard enough already, now you see over there the executions 07. Oop, I don't care if he's reading old medical books. So what? Okay. Executions 07 and day 1 of 3. So I have 3 days to complete this challenge, and I have to get 7 executions to complete it, or I can just get 2 or 4, as you see right there. What that does is your clan, after every few games or so, a little random event will happen. For example, the one I just had previously was hunters are attacking your clan base thing. And what had happened is it gave me a thing that if I didn't get... It lets you choose what challenge you want. I picked, 4 downs, which I'll explain in a moment. And it gave me a thing to get 5 downs, 12 downs, then 20 downs. If I got all 20, I'd only lose 10% of all my survivors. If I didn't do 80 of them, I would have lost 70%. So that's kind of how those things go. They're real random events. The ones I want to have currently is actually get more if I get more survivors. So if I get 7 executions, I get more survivors. I think I get like 2 more survivors or something like that. Now, I do think it's kind of cool. If you look at the, sort of like the upper left, it shows a little picture, and that's sort of like the little computer-generated image of what your base looks like with all your survivors. Now, there are executions, which is pretty self-explanatory. They're, actual player kills. Then there's downs. Now, downs, this is going to be a little bit interesting to explain. If I go into, for example, let's take a look at my guns. If you look at the Frontier rifle, it says lever action rifle that downs enemies in 2 shots. And what it means by that is it takes 2 shots to pretty much like stun them, puts them on the ground, or makes them bleed out. And if nobody comes within that time of them bleeding out, they can't get back up and they have to respawn, that sort of thing. And if they bleed out without being revived, it counts as an execution along with a down. So downs in-game are worth more than executions. Downs are worth 100, executions are worth 50. And so a little bit interesting there. One other thing is you also got revives, which are probably one of the best things you can do for your team. Remember, guys, if you are going to get this game, play as a team. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't stick together and you don't, work as a team, you're going to lose horrifically, and it hurts. Because if you see right there where it says healthy, hungry, and sick, if you go negative or you lose, you are really going to be hurting, because your hungry is going to go up and your sick's going to go up. I'm not sure what happens if you're sick, but I know if you're hungry, you'll die of starvation. And if you get the character in game, I think this affects, like, if you're sick in game or something like that, I think you're just weaker or stuff like. I'm not entirely sure if that does transfer over, or if it's just there to just be there. But again, people, play as a team on this game. Cannot stress that enough. But that's going to be a quick rundown of what this game is going to be, or is, for multiplayer anyway. Hopefully I clarified it a bit more than what you normally would watch. In next episode, I will explain a little bit more on how an execution down and revive and all that sort of stuff works out. Because it's better to visually see it than just to explain it, because it's very hard to explain. And I will see you guys in next episode.